Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. Today is Thursday, October the 5th, 2017. We are looking at a full moon today. Let's start by taking a look at the chart for the moment over here at planetwatcher.com. And the exact time of the full moon, Eastern Daylight Time, is 2:40 p.m. We can't adjust the exact minutes here, but you can see that the sun is at 12 degrees of Libra and the moon is at 12 degrees of Aries. These are both cardinal signs. We have the moon in cardinal fire and we have the sun in cardinal air. Cardinal means boss-like or ordaining. Generally, the cardinal signs like to be boss. They like to make the decisions, tell other people what to do and where to go. So if you are one of the cardinal signs, which would be Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, this might be a more intense full moon for you than it would be for some of the other sun signs. And that is particularly due to the fact that we have a T-square going on with, and I feel like a broken record, like I've said this many times before over the last few months, and that's really because Pluto's not moving very fast, and neither is the planet Uranus. So they've been squaring each other for quite some time. Right now they are not, but the moon is. So they've moved just far enough apart, Pluto and Uranus, that we don't have them squared to each other, but we do have the moon today making that square to Pluto. And in turn, Pluto is squaring the sun, and the sun and moon opposing. And this can create a feeling of seriousness, intensity. Aries is a hot-headed moon, and it thinks of itself primarily. Aries is a fire sign that initiates or ordains, leads, pioneers. It says, I am. Those are the words that Aries speaks. So take a look at your own chart. Everybody has Aries somewhere in their chart. Look to see what house you have Aries energy in, and that will show you what area of life right now is being highlighted for you. For me personally, my Aries energy is in the 11th house of friends, groups, organizations, and where creativity gets taken out to the world. And I have my own natal moon in Aries. It's just a few degrees away from this full moon. I'm definitely feeling it. Feeling particularly critical of myself and feeling as though I have a great deal of talent and ability, yet I'm not seeing it be as productive and making something of it as I would like to see. So the impatience of Aries, wanting to already be there, is something that comes out when the moon is full in Aries. And the determination of Pluto and Capricorn to make something real or solid, or on the other hand, to tear down and destroy anything that is no longer working, that is a lost cause or is dead, would also be some of the influence at this full moon. And then the square that occurs and the opposition over to the Libra, Sun, and Mercury, we are seeking some sort of a perfection in terms of design or in terms of social interaction with other people. Sitting opposite of Aries is Libra. Libra rules the 7th house of relationships. Aries rules the 1st house of self. So Libra's association with relationship comes from the house that it rules. You may not have Libra in your 7th house. I don't. I have Libra in my 5th house, which is a house of creativity. So I am spending more time in designing and creating things and looking at things from the artistic perspective. And I am wanting to bring those things out much more quickly than I've been doing. But the ideas are definitely churning. A lot's going on because Mercury's in Libra, and this turns everybody's mind toward seeking some sort of perfection and harmony, either in their world around them through what they see, what they hear, what they sense, or through their relationships, how they relate to other people. So doing the dance of relationship may be important for some people now, and what this full moon might be triggering is issues of who are you in that relationship? Are you having your needs met, or are you being too selfish? What is the balance there? Are you and your partner in harmony? Are you able to compromise? Are you able to communicate, negotiate? Are you giving equal time listening to your partner? Are they listening to you? And these things may feel critical or crucial because of the energy of Pluto in Capricorn. So the drama element is stronger when Pluto's involved, and we may just find that people trigger our emotions more strongly right now, and we react rather than pausing, slowing down, and thinking about things. I think behind that there may be a little bit of confusion, fear, obviously, where there's things going on globally in the world, which I think has a lot to do with Neptune in Pisces. Currently, the losses, the sadness, the distortion, uncertainties, wanting to help, heal, rescue, and save, but also just not understanding the motivations behind what's going on, why people are so lost and doing the things that they are doing that are harmful to others. And that planet Neptune in Pisces is opposing Venus conjunct Mars in Virgo. And we've just come out of, we're getting out of the Virgo season because the Sun and Mercury are now in Libra. I think last time I did an update, we had those two planets all in Virgo with Venus and Mars. So we had more Virgo energy. So now Virgo is beginning to fade away, but we still have 11 degrees left to go with Venus and Mars in the sign of Virgo, and they are conjunct right now. These two planets, when they get together, are extremely physical. Venus is our affectionate nature, our needs, our desires, the things that are pleasurable, familiar, or comfortable to us, the things that we like. And we have Mars, which is a call to action, and it can be a very much in-your-face planet. It can also be a very material planet and a very sexual planet. And these planets also both represent masculine and feminine qualities. Venus, the feminine, and Mars, the masculine. So the importance of, I think, finding out or discerning what is essential, what is needed, what is priority, the necessities, and taking the actions on protecting those who are important to us, taking care of the things that are important to us, making sure our needs are met. And if we are allowing this square between these two planets to Saturn in Sagittarius to motivate us, then we are looking for something bigger or better and trying to figure out how to make it happen. This can also be from what I see going on in the world, especially with places like Puerto Rico, where yes, there's help. Yes, people are reaching out, but it's hard. It's not happening fast, and it's not enough. And the idea of enough, is there enough, can be on our minds in our personal lives, as well as Saturn in Sag is making a square to Chiron in Pisces, and Chiron is opposing that Venus and Mars. And this is all extremely needs-based and concern for the family and striving to provide for family or take care of needs while still holding on to some higher vision that moves toward the future. And I think that this creates worry. I feel like some of this pattern in here is creating more worry than might be necessary, but you just can't tell somebody not to worry. A better use of the worrying energy is to go and act upon the things that you can control. And the things that you cannot control, don't look at it, let it go, leave it to a higher power, or put it aside for another time. Delegate your worrying to just a certain amount of time per day, and then get busy with things that make you happy, or that help other people, or that are in your immediate world that you can control. Be an example. Do good in small amounts on a local level if you can't, go in and heal the world's problems right now. Don't pass on and inflate the fear to other people or the worry to other people. Stay positive to the best of your ability. So that's what's going on. Oh, we still have an opposition going on between this planet of change, Uranus in Aries, which is seeking something new and maybe radical or different. And right now it's opposing Jupiter in Libra. And I feel as though this is for the better, that changes that come about are for the better, or that they have to acknowledge both parties, or they have to acknowledge both sides, that ultimately, even if it feels uncomfortable, whatever the changes are, that there is growth involved because of Jupiter, and that something is to be gained by all involved, whatever these changes are. And again, relationship and individuality might come into play because of the Aries Libra energy. So I think we've hit on everything that's in here. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. I've read this, and I've read this several times, and then I've gone to a few other sites online where there's a lot of talk about this Sabian symbol. If you Google it, if you Google Sabian symbol Aries 13, you will find other astrologers writing about it. I don't feel that this is an easy one to make correlations or to truly understand. This is the type of thing that I think we need to read it and feel it, sit with it, and take away any labeling from it and say, oh, this means this and this means that, or this relates to this or that that's going on in the world. It does seem to me that every time I look at the Sabian symbol for a particular transit of a planet, that it's telling the story of our world, or that we can relate in some way. Now, if I just randomly picked Sabian symbols, would I find it relatable? Possibly. I haven't tried that. And obviously we can find a way to make things fit. But anyhow, I'll read this through. An unexploded bomb reveals an unsuccessful social protest. An immature evaluation of the possibility of transforming suddenly the status quo. The symbol pictures the result of a particular attempt to resolve the conflict between two concept feelings of order. Resolution by violence fails because the ego power at this stage of the process of individualization is far too strong. The state thwarts attempts at popular revolution because these are premature expressions of a consciousness which is not free but can only react wildly to constraint and to a central ruling power. It is thus a symbol of immature refusal to conform in the name of an over-idealistic desire for harmony and peace. I actually felt a feeling come up in me of wanting to argue some of this, but then when I read it through a few more times, I realized that there's something in here that is correct, that we are attempting to use violence in a way to achieve a peace or a freedom, but that doesn't get us anywhere. This is the third stage of the third fivefold sequence, a negative attempt at reconciling the spiritual ideal and the very earthly reality, denying the validity of the latter. So, in other words, there's some denial here of earthly reality, and it seems as though the acting out is based on the spiritual ideal. And I would say that in order for us to go beyond the denser, more material or earthly vision of things, we would have to raise the vibratory rate of more people and the consciousness of more people on the planet. And the only way that we can do that ourselves is not through violent action, but through consistent example and maintaining the positive outlook rather than fighting against something, using negativity to deal with negativity. It just doesn't work. Then it ends here by saying it suggests adolescent frustration. And if you think about that, adolescence is a time period where you're between two worlds. You're between your childhood and your adulthood. And you're not going to go backward. We don't. We progress forward. We move forward into adulthood. The frustration that an adolescent feels in thinking they are big enough, old enough, smart enough, but they have the constraints upon them. Oh, you can't drink until a certain age. You can't go buy cigarettes until a certain age. You can't drive until a certain age. You can't have sex until a certain age. All these things that put constraints upon the adolescent who is already feeling the forward motion, and already, in many cases, they know more because they are in school, and many of us who are older have already forgotten a lot of what we've learned. Now, maybe what we have, being older people, not adolescents anymore, is that we have life wisdom. But the overall quantity of knowledge that I find, like in my own 17-year-old son, I don't remember half of that. In many ways, he is more intelligent than I am, and I see him get very frustrated with me at times. Not just against the rules of society, but frustrated with me because I'm not in the same space that he is in, and I don't have that body of knowledge anymore. And I have to be patient with him because I understand that he doesn't have the wisdom of the passage of time and the life situations that teach us things about human interaction and behavior. So I feel that there's something good in here. The bomb did not go off. The social protest was unsuccessful. Now, perhaps in our innocence or lack of worldly wisdom in being able to achieve that non-violent or that more peaceful level, we were protected by using, let's say, a bomb. Or if we had become successful, then what would we have done with winning that protest? Are we prepared for something like a complete change in our society right now? Or are we going through the experiences that are going to make us able to handle things from an adult perspective and not from the perspective of adolescent frustration? So there's a lot to think about in this Sabian symbol, and well, I'll leave you with that. And be patient this full moon. Of course, if there's anything that needs having a fire lit underneath, then go do that, because certainly with a cardinal fire sign of Aries at the full moon and those words I am, make your I am list of things that you would like to be, and then stir up the fire in yourself and get to it. I will be in touch again in about 2 weeks when we look at our next lunation, and you can find me over here at alohaastro.com. Yes, I'm still, some of you might have noticed I changed my pop-up sign up for the newsletter. I will be drawing the free reading for the full moon and informing the winner. I have to say that either people are not opening their emails, the click-through rates, not huge. So if you have signed up for the newsletter in the anticipation of winning, do check your emails so that you can make use of that code when I send it out if you happen to be the winner. And if you want to get in touch to schedule a reading or look at your chart, the schedule appointment button is right at the top. Take care, everybody. Be safe and keep cool, at least up in your head.